Prince William just dropped a move that makes Harry look, well, kind of ridiculous. And trust me, this isn't the usual brothers fighting headline. This is about money, image, and who's really winning the long game. William just made a move that's got Harry reportedly fuming over in Montecito. Remember when Harry and Meghan took millions from the British public to renovate Frogmore Cottage, only to ditch the idea and leave for California? Yeah, William's doing the complete opposite. He's pouring his own millions into renovating Forest Lodge, which is set to be the family's forever home, and not asking the taxpayer for a single penny. He could have taken public funds, like every royal before him, but he didn't. And if that's not a direct contrast to his brother's choices, I don't know what is. All right, quick rewind. Remember Frogmore Cottage? That cozy little spot Harry and Meghan moved into a few years back. On paper, it looked like a dream home. Charming, historic, everything most people would love. But for Meghan, it apparently felt more like a downgrade than a royal perk. So, what did Harry and Meghan do next? A $3 million taxpayer-funded makeover. New finishes, upgrades, the whole luxury treatment. And after all that, they left. Suddenly the cottage wasn't glamorous enough. The location wasn't exciting enough. Even the vibe wasn't Monaco enough. And sure, they eventually paid the money back, but not out of some grand moral choice. It was because they were leaving the UK. And let's be honest, they had no real option but to return it. Now, compare that with William. He is the future king. And instead of dipping into public funds, he's dropping his own money to bring Forest Lodge back to life. And let's be clear, this place isn't some polished, move-in-ready mansion. It's a $20 million estate that needs serious work. We're talking an old 8-bedroom, grade 2 listed property with a roof that's seen better days, windows that belong in a museum, and a heating system that probably sounds like the Daily Mail on a bad day. But William's covering it himself, quietly. No press tours, no fuss, no Netflix deal needed to handle the bills. And the best part? It's not just about the cash, it's about the message. William's showing that being royal doesn't have to mean being entitled. It can mean responsibility, humility, and respect. He and Catherine plan to live there without live-in staff, paying full rent, and raising their kids as normally as possible. That's not just a renovation, that's a statement. Meanwhile, Harry's out in California spending an estimated $2 million a year just on security, and probably a small fortune on keeping that koi pond happy. Here's the part that must sting. William didn't have to take this path. The Crown Estate could have covered every cent of those renovations, just like they've done for other royals. But he chose not to. And that choice throws a spotlight on everything Harry's been criticized for. Every time William takes the higher road, Harry looks more reactive, more petty, more out of touch. Insiders are already calling this move a PR masterclass. William looks like the steady, humble heir, while Harry comes across as the brother still fighting battles no one else wants to hear about. But here's the bigger picture. William's not just fixing up a house, he's rebuilding the royal brand, piece by piece. Every brick laid at Forest Lodge feels like a quiet reminder to Montecito. This is how it's done. Harry can complain, write another book, or launch another project, but the contrast is too obvious. William is stepping into his role with patience and class, while Harry seems stuck in a cycle of lawsuits, grudges, and failed ventures. Paying for Forest Lodge himself isn't just smart PR, it's William showing who he's becoming as a leader. Not someone grabbing perks, but someone preparing for the long game. In a world where trust in the monarchy is fragile, that's exactly the move that keeps the crown relevant. Now, let's talk about Forest Lodge itself. This place isn't some glittering palace. It's an old, weathered estate tucked inside Windsor Great Park. Beautiful, yes, but it's going to take a serious fortune to modernize. Repairs are already underway. New heating system, restored windows, updated interiors. And keep in mind, it hasn't had a major update since 2001, so basically it needs everything. But again, William's covering it all himself. Catherine's even been spotted picking furniture and making design choices. Nothing flashy, nothing showy, just tasteful and elegant. Very on brand for them. They're even paying full market rent every month, when they easily could have asked for a royal discount. Why? Because they want George, Charlotte, and Louis to grow up with perspective, to know what things cost, to understand fairness, and to avoid that "we deserve it all" mindset. Compared to how some royals operate, that's honestly refreshing. Look at where they've been living since 2022. Adelaide Cottage. 4 bedrooms. Pretty small for a future king and queen with 3 kids. But did you ever hear them complain? Nope. No Netflix digs, no memoir chapters about feeling sidelined. They just lived their lives and carried on. That kind of quiet dignity hasn't gone unnoticed by the public. Now compare that with Harry and Meghan at Frogmore. From the start, the complaints rolled in. Too small, wrong location. Even the name bothered Meghan. Apparently, Frogmore just didn't sound royal enough. So, they pushed for renovations, millions of taxpayer money was spent, and then they left. Yes, they did pay it back, but only because they were moving out and had no real choice. That wasn't about being responsible, it was about saving face. And honestly, the whole thing looked terrible. Fast forward to today, and the comparison has only gotten sharper. Harry's money choices keep raising eyebrows. Lawsuits, private jet trips, security bills that rival a country's budget. Meanwhile, William is setting the opposite example. Forest Lodge isn't just a house, it's a statement. He's saying, "We'll handle this ourselves. We'll earn it. We'll do it the right way." That's the kind of message that matters when you're preparing to be king. He's showing that leadership doesn't always have to be loud. Sometimes it's just about doing the right thing. Forest Lodge may sit on 50 acres and date back to the 1770s, but he's treating it like a family home, not a trophy. And that subtlety, that's power. And don't get me wrong, Forest Lodge comes with plenty of perks. 8 bedrooms, a tennis court, even a ballroom. You can actually see Wimbledon from there too. But the most interesting part, they're not hiring live-in staff. Not because they can't, but because they don't want to. Catherine wants the kids to grow up in a real home, not some royal hotel. Family dinners without a butler hanging around, the kids making their own beds, helping set the table, that's the kind of normal they're aiming for. It shows that for all the traditions surrounding them, William and Catherine actually crave normalcy. They've seen what happens when that balance is missing, and they're determined to build something that reflects who they are, not just what the crown expects. Now, let's check in on Montecito. Harry and Meghan's mansion couldn't be more different. Big, flashy, private gates, koi ponds, endless renovations, and hedges tall enough to block out the world. On the surface, it's all about status and luxury. But behind those walls, not exactly a fairy tale. Business deals collapse, the Spotify deal flopped, podcasts tanked, and the constant scramble for relevance doesn't exactly scream peace and stability. Meanwhile, William's picking up more royal duties without making it a circus. Harry, on the other hand, is busy with lawsuits against tabloids, against the British government, even against the Home Office over security. Millions poured into legal fights. Does that sound calm? Number. It sounds like chaos. And then there's the bigger picture, legacy. William's not worried about quick wins. He's thinking long-term, about keeping the monarchy alive in a time when people are more skeptical than ever. His refusal to jump on board with King Charles's supposed peace talks with Harry says it all. William's not interested. No fake smiles, no forced hugs. And honestly, why would he be? You can't keep reaching out to someone who just keeps burning the bridge. And then there's Catherine. She's been handling health struggles quietly, never making it about her. She lived in a small 4-bedroom house for years without ever complaining, even while being one of the most watched women in the world. No leaks to the press, no digs at other royals, just family and duty. So when the family finally moves into Forest Lodge, it won't just be a change of address. It'll be a statement. Independence, responsibility, and a glimpse of how William and Catherine plan to lead the monarchy in the future. And across the ocean, while headlines praise William's humility, Harry will likely be preparing another speech, another interview, another round of grievances. But at this point, the contrast couldn't be clearer. One brother looks like the future, the other looks stuck in the past. And if the crown had to choose right now, we all know where it's headed.